has been 15 years since an explosion changed a man's life forever. Now he's a motivational speaker in High Point, hoping to change others' lives for the better.
Well, I grew up in a small town south of Charlotte with an older brother, younger brother. My mom taught at our high school and my dad was in the Navy, so it wasn't like we had a ton, but we just loved playing sports.
At 13 years old, Connor McKemey was active, playing football, basketball, and lacrosse, but that came to a halt after planning a date at his house for his then crush.
In my haste to try to get the fire started that night before she came over, there was an explosion and it ended up catching me on fire from head to toe, and really before I know it, I was patted out and pushed down and could just see as I opened my eyes, the skin peeled back, my shirt missing, and at the time you don't know how bad it is, but you could tell from the looks of the EMTs and everybody that was there that I wasn't in good shape.
The fire exploded. Over 90% of his body was burned, and he was given less than a 1% chance of survival.
Really, they were just trying to keep me alive long enough so my dad, who was in Iraq at the time, could come home to be there and see me one last time. I can't imagine, how difficult it was for my parents when they're staring at their 13-year-old and thinking like the rest of his life is completely different than anything he ever knew, let alone just hoping that he would be alive.
McKemey was in a medically induced coma for 3 months, had 2 years of rehabilitation and more than 100 surgeries. But that didn't stop him.
Being 13, being young, being a little stubborn and naive, I didn't realize how bad it was. And all I kept asking, when I finally could talk again was, when can I get back to school? When can I go back and play sports?
He had to learn how to walk again, but after growing his strength, he later played Division I lacrosse at High Point University. McKemey then coached the team for a few years and is now turning his story into a way to help those battling mental health challenges.
It's okay to feel sad, it's okay to have bad days, but that's not the end goal. There's hope out there, there's belief out there. I went through something traumatic, but everybody's fighting battles. And if I could use the perspective that I gained to provide some positivity to those people, then that's what I needed to be doing.
Well, now he's a motivational speaker that travels all over the place and has just released a new book about his story. Coming up in less than 3 minutes, he's going to join us right here in studio and talk about his life and new book. Stick with us. We'll be back after the break.